Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. I was searching for some games to cast from the Legend of Stars qualifier number 1, and there's not that many good ones, honestly. I will cast a few more games. I haven't gone through all the games yet, but I didn't find many great games so far. A lot of short ones that weren't too interesting. So I'm going to cover my series against Robogear, because I think it was a bit more interesting than other series. And this is best of 3 game. In the very first round I had to play Robogear. Feels bad, man. Very difficult matchup. I think me and Robogear pretty evenly matched. So I went for Cybrant. Robogear went random faction in this map, and maybe all the maps actually. He definitely went random on this map, and he got Aeon, and we're gonna see how good Aeon is on this map. It's quite nice, so I'm doing normal stuff, getting some reclaim. Oh, I killed some of my trees. That's pretty bad. This other scout's idle in the base. That's not great either. Run little mole. Robogear, no scouts. Except for this one in the sky. One engineer assisting his ACU. I have 2 here. Pigeons, it all seems reasonable. I have some scouts to spot labs and maybe bombers as well. Spot his scout plane. And let's see, Robogear is on the way. Yeah, we're about the same speed. Another land factory going down, which I can just about afford to build with 1 engineer. More Mantis. Now, I don't know if that was a good decision. Maybe that should have been more power and another air factory, considering I'm against an Aeon. Aurora going to be quite nice in this map. So overall, Robogear slightly, well, he has a better build, I'm pretty sure here, because he has the Hydro, he has more total mass. He's actually using that Hydro very well. Has a little bit of assistance. Very nice eco management from Robogear so far. Pretty good for me as well. We're not wasting power. The longer you can delay your power waste, the better. A lot of people waste power extremely early on and then wonder why they lost. It's because pigeons are very expensive, and if you build too many of them, you are in big trouble. This is a terrible decision for me to park my inties here. And they even took some shots from Aurora there, and now Robogear's catching me with his slightly superior inti force. He has 1 more there than I do. He leaves and gets a kill on my air scout, but doesn't engage because it's a bit too risky for him. And now he has better score lead. I have quite a lot of mass in the bank, so we start a mech upgrade. We still have tons of mass, and we got a drop away, and also we're going to make another drop. We're going to drop this position. This is my favorite position to drop, because it's very far away from the base. You have to go all the way around. If you can kill this, it can be dead for a long time. We're trying to get some little raids going as well. The drop lands. Looks like it'll do some damage. On the other parts of the map, Robogear getting his third factory in the expansion. Meanwhile, I have not a single one for some reason. I don't know why that is, but that is the way it is. This bomber just killed 3 mantis, which means it might be difficult to kill the factory. Another bomb, it's not dodged. And now there's Aurora here in support. Pretty sad that I didn't manage to kill everything here. If I killed the factory, it would have been amazing. But now he can rebuild. An engineer over here. We have a very nasty waste of mantis. These Aurora are so brutal because not only can they kite away from you, they can kite onto the water where you can't follow them. So already we can see Robogear with a higher kill ratio than me. And we're only, well, we're not that far into the game yet. And that's because of the Aurora mainly, and also perhaps the transport kill here. So Robogear's moving out. There's ACU killing some X's here. This bomber has 7 kills. Oh, this is the one that killed some stuff over here, I guess. We have more T1 bombers coming up. I have T2 mechs. Another one building. We have T2 land. We're making a pigeon, followed by another air factory. And these Aurora are doing a lot of work here. And I do not have air control. His bomber's doing some damage here. Not dying fast enough to my anti-air. And now Robogear goes for the kill with the inties. He's rushing into my base with his whole force, which is risky obviously for him, because if it's say a draw, then he's going to leave a lot of reclaim. But he wins it pretty comfortably. Still leaves reclaim, but there's no doubt that that's worth it. And now we're in a difficult position because he's just gone T2 air. His T2 land has just finished as well. He's going for blazes, and you can see now we're in a very bad spot. So we're lacking units. I have T2 land, but the T2 land units are only really coming out now. I've gone for Wagners, and the Wagners are getting wrecked already. This one is. So he has units in basically every part of the map. Now, closing in on this expansion, I'm going to try and save some of these units if I can, but I can't, it seems. Oh, you can run down here. Well, maybe I'll save a few, but the whole expansion is dead now. I did save these units, which is good, but may not be too important in the end. Robogear's base, we have the T2 land in air, we have Swifties coming up, we have a third T2 mechs. And doesn't look too great right now. What's my ACU doing? Making T2? Not sure why I'm making T2 here. To be honest, I don't know. Difficult to get stuff done with the ACU here because air control is a big problem. I do have T2 air, of course there. Slightly at a loss what to do, I guess. So we do everything and not have enough mass for it. Minus 30 mass income. Pretty bad. Our Wagners, which are supposed to be raiding, are instead mostly dying. So we have a little T2 army here. We have some flak, Wagner, Hoplite to try and fight this stuff. Fight this huge Aurora army. Over here, Robogear is very busy making double gun and now making the shield. And that is going to be very nasty for our T2 army. Our Air Force is about the same size, but unfortunately his are about 4 times as good. Swifties. This is an extreme force of Swifties right now. 14 Swiftwinds. I wonder how many inties you would need to defeat 14 Swifties. You probably need 50 inties or something. Or maybe even slightly more. Another P-Gen. Just in time. Well, here we go. Here's an air fight. I have 2 flak underneath this air fight. It doesn't seem to be helping a great deal. But we may actually kill his expansion here. Only about 5 minutes after he killed our one on the left. And recaptured it. I guess I went for T2 because my AC will be safer versus T2 air. You can build anti-air and stuff. Maybe that was the reasoning. Oh, and here we go. Now, what I thought here during the game was that he was losing HP on his commander. Unfortunately, he wasn't. He was actually just already had lost some HP somehow. And so basically I thought he was losing HP, so I went in for the kill. He still had his shield, however. And I managed to take down the shield and start doing a little bit of damage, but obviously survived quite easily. That was most of my T2 army. And that's basically going to mean that the game is over because I misread the situation there. Not realizing his shield was online. Maybe he did take damage because he was stalling just for a second or something like that and his shield dropped. Either way, it doesn't really matter now because this AC was not really possible to stop. He has a huge air force right next to him. Look at all these Swifties. Imagine if you repaired these. Be even better. And we call GG. I would probably die to this Blaze army. So that was game 1. Well played, Robogear. Showing the power of Aeon, showing the power of Swifties as well. Honestly, Swifties proving their worth. So let's try game 2 on Bermuda. The Bermuda Locket. So we're under a bit of pressure now. So we are 1 game down. Apologies for the colors. Red and red on a red map. Not the best choice from any of us. But, well, let's not completely skip the start of the game. So, Robogear. Let's see Robogear's build. If you want to see my build, I messed it up a bit. And you can check my stream. I did stream these games, that's why I'm not really doing the POV thing on these replays, because well, my streams are in lower quality, and also you can already watch the POVs there. The video is called LOTS qualifier number 1, I think. So he goes for scout and an inti first, followed by transport. Sees my transport just as it's complete. You can see he got all that done and also finished his transport at about the same time, so my build It's not great. Clearly. And now he's attacking my transport with his Inti already. So we'll do a little dodging action. Get behind his Inti. He didn't really micro. Or he didn't micro at all actually. So you can see that one little dodge gets us across to where we need to be. I mean, ideally we drop in other places. Yeah, my opening on this map leaves a lot to be desired. But there you go. So Robo gets to split his up, but I get to drop 6 engineers. He drops 4 in total. And he also wins air. Good start for me. Not a bad start for Robogear. And he's gonna keep trying to keep this air win. Keep it, all his Intis, killing my Intis as they come out of the factory. But he missed one. He's also making a bomber, and he's using that transport, which has not died, unlike mine, to redrop. And he's actually going to try and drop my side, which is pretty ambitious. What he could do instead, which would be a lot safer, would be to drop here, 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 here. This would be very safe. Makes a lot of sense. Instead he's dropping here, here, here. Which I don't know if is really that good. Because now we've caught his transport. His engineers are all gonna die and his transport is too. And we have a good start here, because let's take a look at the serious differences. We have a lot more power. That's the thing on this map. He has about 500 power income. I have over 700. And actually, well, now this is a bad time. My reclaim game has failed me slightly, which is why we are not using that power. But really, the mistake is not the overbuilding of power there. It's that I'm not getting reclaim fast enough. So Robogear is limited. Even if he was getting reclaim faster than me, he wouldn't really be able to use any more than he's using right now. So he's at minus 100. See, he's even foregoing mass extractors because he doesn't have power to really build them. You can see now that he's building multiple mexes in many places, his power tanked. It's costing him, he's probably spending over 100 power there on building T1 mexes. Because it costs, what, 30 power each? Yes, every engineer building a T1 mex costs 30 power. It's quite a lot. So, my ACU treks to the left, gets some defensive action going. We started T2 air upgrade, but there's no assistance, which might be a mistake. Does Robogear... Well, now you can see he's catching up on power. Wow, up to 900. Look at these lines of P-gens. It's just spamming them everywhere in an attempt to correct his underbuilding of it. Previously, we get a drop, but we don't pay attention. That's why you drop some units there with the engineers, because the units need slightly less attention to do their thing. So we need some T2 so we can get T2 power. We should probably have T2 already. Oh, we do. We have T2 land in the expansion. Get a T2 engineer out. Many mex upgrades have started. And we have to start that PGen very quickly, so we can stop building all this T1 power. Our engineer building his factory has died. That's very sad. So similar stuff happening. Robogear with a bigger spam on his side though. Mine definitely more limited. quite a few T1 units coming out. I need T2 from Robogear. Well, we have T2 air quarter of the way done, and T2 land 60%, so he's quite a bit slower on the T2 air and T2 land. Similar naval production, slightly more from him actually. T2 power is late. Very late. Ouch. So a bit painful making that P-gen. Our ACU stepping forward to get more damage done. Somehow the units got in behind. Not sure how. Maybe there's a drop. Well, no, I don't see a transport. So probably not. No ACU upgrades from anyone yet, it seems. T2 P-gen is finished. Hooray. And once the T2 P-gen finishes, it's time to spam max upgrades. Because eventually on this map, the reclaim will run out, and if you haven't used any of that reclaim to actually invest in the future, your future economy, then all your production is, you're probably going to have far too much build power to be able to use, and it's going to be very bad for you. So make a lot of max upgrades on this map with that reclaim, as well as a lot of units. So T2 land coming up. Have some flak, because actually I have no air in this game. That's one thing. I believe I had my air paused for a long time. So we only have 8 interceptors and very little scouting information. Thankfully Robogear is in a similar position, and air has just not been a factor in this game. So some just random frigate fights. Bad micro from me, honestly. But now Robogear is mixing in submarines, which is obvious cheating and unfair behavior. T2 on my commander to try and defend himself and his expansion. And over here Robogear started an upgrade, probably started T2 as well, but has it paused as he makes second T2 P-gen. We have 2 here. Get some support factories, and we're making hover tanks. PD goes up, which might be able to defend us. The other T1 PD is shooting the ground constantly. Yeah, they're both really shooting the ground a lot. Kind of difficult to use T2 PDs as a Seraphim player on this map. Oh, there's a hill right here, which, yeah, if I had put the PD on this hill, would have been nice. But we have T2 Navy now. Let's see, yeah, he was making T2. So T2 Navy. Obviously, Navy is hugely important on this map. Generally, inside is where the action happens. The outside, not so popular, but making cruisers on the outside, well, it used to happen a lot a few years ago. It very rarely happens now, because really it's very likely that anything you make outside will be torpedo bombed. And also, if you start making Navy on the outside, you may just lose Navy on the inside, and that's likely to be much worse for you, because well, on the inside you have access to every single bit of land in the map very quickly. On the outside it takes a long time to get around to the other person's base and stuff. And really, if you're building on the outside, you could just make more on the inside, win on the inside, and crush. So it's sort of difficult to justify these outside Navy plays, honestly. I think it's I think it doesn't really make sense for most factions. It doesn't make sense for Aeon. Doesn't make sense for Cybran because they don't have missile cruisers. For Seraphim, you have missile cruisers, but you're likely to lose them. And speaking of losing, I was quite scared at this point where we have the T2 and guns who are feeling powerful as a Seraphim. But there's a lot of units here and I have very few. Now, what saves me here is the fact that he has mainly Medusa. There's a lot of Medusa here, so I can dodge a lot of those shots. Also, I got an overcharge in on his rhinos at the start. I think they were rhinos. So we survive. See, just moving side to side, dodging most of the Medusa. If I walk in a straight line and the Medusa start attacking, I am gonna die. Okay, so we have a bit of a naval fight. Robogear has a pretty nice position. He has a stealth boat as well, which is annoying. And we're making T2 Navy, T1 Navy, and we also are making hover tanks. Oh no, we're not. Where did the hover tank production go? Seems to have stopped. Also lost one of our factories here to Medusa. And there's a very nasty TML. And we are about to lose our T2 Naval HQ, which is the most important building that we have right now. Oh, we're also moving to T3R, which is probably premature. 16 minutes into a Bermuda game with land wars happening in your expansion and a T2 naval fight going on. Going T3R is probably not the best option in a game that's really, well, there's a lot of action here. So we've lost our HQ. We're going to build it far away from those TMLs, but perhaps in range of a new TML here, potentially. And we're going to keep our navy alive. This ACU is doing a fantastic job of holding off this big land army. We have multiple support factories. Now MMLs are coming out, which is quite annoying. He's going to kill my naval factories with MMLs. But we're doing okay. We also have 50% T3 max. And that's a beautiful thing. And overall, it seems like we have more economy. Robogear lacking T2 maxes in this expansion here, whereas we have some. We have maybe some more storages, I don't know. We have a few more T2 maxes dotted around. MMLs step forward, but they got a bit too close there. And what I really need is a shield. And Robogear wastes those MMLs there, unfortunately for him. Oh, he hides in a little divot. That's annoying. That's why we have artillery, to get around these pesky hills. Robogear with the better kill ratio. Probably this TML helped a lot with that. Sending now TMLs towards my mexes, but that's not happening. That is not going to work. Well, actually, if he keeps firing, it will work, because it's Cybran. Okay, we get some torpedo bombers in there. Always good to torpedo bomb T2 ships. So we killed the Salem. Did about a quarter damage to another one with just a few torpedo bombers. Very nice. Now we have some Yenzines. We have replaced our T2 naval production. We're getting more destroyers out. And we have 4 versus 4 destroyers now. Similar number of frigates, but we have some Yenzines as well. Hopefully they'll make the difference. My naval production in the main base is getting murdered. Robogear has T3R. He actually has T3 P-Gen done before me, so maybe my saying that I was too early on T3R is perhaps wrong, because he was even faster. And really, it's 19 minutes now, so we didn't exactly rush it once we started moving towards T3R. Could have had my P-Gen done a while ago, judging by all these idle T3 engineers around. So we're continually trying to micro against the Salem's. No, that ship is about to get a veterancy. Had a lot of mass killed. So you don't want to stand still for too long versus Salem's, because you can actually dodge most of their shots. T3 mechs, but in a place where I can't build 4 storages. Just a terrible choice for a first T3 mechs. But we'll fix that with a second one. Well, hey, 75% done. Robogear does not have a T3 mechs. And I don't see one upgrading. Also, if we look at the map, well, he can see that I have a T3 mechs actually. Let's take a look at his Salem's. Yeah, they all have some mass killed, and they're quite annoying. These frigates are also quite annoying. So we have to back up a little bit. On this side, I'm still not too scared of whatever attack he's going to do. I am going to build some PDs. I have a shield now, which makes me feel pretty safe. I should be taking reclaim and stuff, but we're a bit slow about that. Get some scouting done with our spy plane, and the game is quite even. However, this mech puts me ahead on economy again. This is basically the difference. This 27 mass income here. It's the difference between our economies. You can see Robogear is maybe making more storages and stuff. His whole main base has storages. We get a strap bomber out. That one exclusively hit Medusa. And over here at the same time, Robogear may be getting caught out. His Salem's now forced to retreat while in range of multiple destroyers. Now, I think Robogear had some technical problems in this game, actually some slight freezing of his game, so maybe that is why he lost some units there. Another drop with the strap bomber, and we micro it back away from those units. And we're just running in now. A lot of Yenzines coming for Robogear's ships, and he doesn't have too many frigates left. And the Salem's at this range are not going to do well versus these T2 tanks. Strap bomber takes out some more T2 tanks, and Robogear reacts with his air force. We are now immediately trying to take as much of this reclaim as we can, and the Yenzines continue to just rush forward. My destroyers have all seemingly been killed. Well, whoa. Oh yeah, that one dies now. We have a fresh one, and Robogear's HQ is now the target of my attacks from these T2 tanks. We're going to try and take out the T2 naval HQ as revenge for him killing my one. His air force gets pretty close to my SAMs there. We get some kills with that. And actually, somehow the strap bomber survives on 100 HP. The T2 naval HQ goes down, and all of my attacking force goes down. But his production has been destroyed, and now we're going to move over here. We're going to make sure he doesn't make any production here, and then we're going to rebuild another naval force. And we'll also make some cruisers. So we can damage some mexes around here, kill all of these mexes quite easily with one cruiser or two cruisers. Haha, this T2PD has actually gotten insane amounts of damage because it can shoot into the water, it seems. Sometimes. Now our strap bomber has been repaired on this air staging platform. Back from 100 HP. And he's gonna go back and... Oh, where is it? Where is it going actually? Oh, it's auto attacking. That's not great. And now it may actually die. Robogear sending a lot of gunships to the right, killing T2 mechs is 4 down now. 5 down. And that's a dead strap bomber, finally. It gets killed, but look at all the engineers in the water taking a reclaim. It's making a big difference to my economy. We have more mass income. We have a third T2 mechs. And Robogear still has no T3 mechs. Oh, here we go. Here's the first one, I believe. And some very annoying tiny raids with just some artillery killing some T2 mexes. This gunship raid was pretty damn effective, killing 6 T2 mexes and some storages. But at this point I'm feeling pretty good because he still has no T2 naval HQ. So the game should be fine now because we have so much more navy. That's the main thing. 6 destroyers. He's not going to catch up to that. The only hope is the most brutal Torpegeddon, but he is lacking ASFs now. So this won't last too much longer. He has some TMLs aiming for my HQ again, but we have a cruiser which has very good TMD. T3 land now on the left side. And a support factory, but it's too little too late. When Navy has crushed this badly, there's not much he can do. He gets torpedo, stealth, and T2, heads in the water. But it's not going to end well. The Enzines kill him if he comes out, and so do the destroyers, and the destroyers kill him if he goes back into the water as well. And that's the game. Wow, look at this air grid. That's a bit excessive. So, why did we win? T3 mechs, I would say. That would be my guess. I think maybe, well, the attack that really won the game, that turned it, was this attack that happened here, where I had maybe 15 or 20 Enzines with a similar number of ships to him, supporting those ships, and we got his Salems to have to run away. And as I said, there may have been some technical difficulties on Robogear's side that helped me out there, honestly. But once this happened, this fight happened, we were in a really good position, and it should have always been a win from there, barring some pretty bad mistakes from me. So that is game 2. Now let's check out the final game, game 3 of best of 3. Round 1. Could you imagine having to play Robogear in round 1 of a seeded tournament? Okay. Settings. Settings. Alright, so I am not much of a settings player at all. I have played it quite a few times, but was never very good at it. Robogear definitely has some Setner blood in him. Although I don't know how much he plays now. Maybe he's a bit out of practice, I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention to settings recently. But he has played a lot of it. And so he should have a nice build order. So we're both making bombers. I lose my expanding engineer here. Don't know where my scout is going. It should be somewhere else, perhaps. And my bomber is probably not going to do much. So he gets 1 kill and we take out the bomber. My bomber is already dead. No kills. So that's better from Robogear already. Now, one thing I did do, though, is get an engineer to the middle quickly. I think it's pretty good on this map. On settings in 1v1s. Obviously, in team games, your ACU immediately runs to middle. So you can't really send an engineer ahead of him. You can send an engineer with him. But yeah, so we're getting a very nice mass boost from this engineer. Getting more of the mid-mass than perhaps we would have otherwise. However, we are severely lacking units. I seem to find this happens to me a lot on settings, that I lack units in the middle early on. My builds are just not good on this map. So expansion looks pretty similar. Although I'm faster to rock and he's faster to beach. So it's sort of even there. Another bomber coming in. Although my back expansion, well, yeah, that's definitely much slower actually now that I look at it. Robogear has 28 2-on mexes. I have, well, I don't have that. Oof, 17. Brutal. That's fucking terrible. Bomber action coming in. Shouldn't make too much difference to me, but really we lack so much expansion and we're in big trouble. We do have a T2 mech somehow. Don't know if that was a good decision. So we can't afford to pussy out here. We have to fight in the middle. Now some units have arrived eventually. So we push out, and I really should be taking some reclaim because I need this mass very badly. So the aim here is to keep my units alive. I need all these units alive. I have to keep them out of range of his ACU and try and kill as many of his with my ACU as I can. So we're doing a decent job so far at that. Also, I should be reclaiming. So you can see the mass difference though. 7,000 total difference between the two of us. So it's not even close. We're in a really bad position. Now we're dropping our expansions. But overall, not looking too good. Let's see the reclaim amount. Yeah, he has about 50% more reclaim than me. Actually, more. And a lot more income. So overall, it's just bad all the way through. What do we do? What do we do? Well, Robogear's over here making the gun. With assistance from an engineer. Wonder can he... Yeah, he can afford that as well. Well, that's great news for us, isn't it? Just great. When your opponent can actually afford to make the gun with an engineer assisting him in the middle. You're not doing too great, are you? So we just time to run now. Ouch, taking some arty shots on the way out. Feels bad. Well, let's leave. Let's run home. Now we're also going to try some drops. Try dropping his expansion, but we're not paying attention again. Reminiscent of the last game. And do another drop here. Drop some tanks. And another drop here. Drop some tanks. Here, I got a sudden burst of APM there. Somehow, and managed to drop my whole back expansion and do 3 drops into his side of the map. And I'd say 2 of the drops worked. This one we managed to just barely get in ahead of his engineers finishing this PD. So that was pretty good. Our tanks all have vets now from murdering innocent civilians. Now we drop our expansion, our island. And we're making T2, a lot of T2 units. We're accidentally making a lot of T2 engineers, which are not so useful. And we're making, that's right, Mongoose. So now we are 13,000 total mass behind, but our generated income is even. So that's something. We're back in the game slightly. And we have the Mongoose, which people may not know, should know. This is the first item in the patch notes. It was buffed in the last patch in the summer, and I think people have not been abusing it too much, but I decided I would like to. Being the balance counselor, you have to you know, see what's OP. So let's see if the Mongoose is. Well, right now we're fighting with Mongoose against only T1 units and a gun ACU, and we basically just stay out of the way of the gun ACU. Oh, we lost our shield. That's nasty. Shields are another unit that was changed. Oh, we lost another shield. Ouch. So they cost more mass, but they drain less energy. Drop from Robogear is gonna fail. This drop on the top did quite a bit of damage. This one also. These 3 tanks are still alive from the 6 that were dropped here, and we've killed some mexes. And we're still alive. On the front line, Robogear is just pushing. But I have finished the gun upgrade. Now I have a T2PD. And he still has basically a T1 army. He has a few pillars now reaching the front line. But well, he's gotten a nice few kills, honestly. But I've tried to avoid losing as much as I can. Try to avoid losing as many units as I can. Now, will we get a T2 Mex kill? That would be something special. Fortunately, it is UEF, so it has shit tons of HP. Oh, it's close. No, I moved them. Oh my god, that's so bad. It had 52 HP. If I kept firing, it would have died. Fuck. Well, here we go. So I'm well aware that I'm still behind. So my whole plan was just about the mid-battle, basically. We're going to try and make some frigates on the sides, you know, because you have to. And we're going to try and make a little bit of eco as well. We're not ecoing that hard at all, really. But this is it. It's all about the mid-battle. Because Robogear is committed pretty far forward. And now I'm feeling good with my army. I feel like I have a good army. You can see I have a nice mix of shields, some pillars, some Mongoose, a lot of artillery, and leftover T1 tanks as well. I hope we're not making any more of those. Doesn't look like it. And Robogear is running to the water now. Somehow this died. Maybe it was the same tanks that were dropped over here, actually. You'd think if I could drop once, I could maybe make another drop now, but no, we're not. Robogear getting a bit close to my units here. And look at the mongoose pouring shots in on top of his commander. He's down to 6,000 HP. He's about to get a veterancy though. My commander sitting pretty under some shield. Getting overcharges in. Robogear does have a lot of units. Quite a lot of T2 units, but so I'm trying to save my amazing mongoose army. Trying to get as many overcharges in as possible. Honestly, I'm not getting that many kills. There's now a big amount of reclaim here. And we're making some T2 PDs. This is maybe excessive. This PD is useless. And we stop making it. Now, more factories. These are for engineers and artilleries. And we're just going to keep making T2 PDs, keep pushing. Robogear's not moving to T3. I'm certainly not either. And Robogear maybe once again maybe getting a bit too close. He's moving in. He wants more and more veterancy, and he's honestly getting it. He's getting a lot of kills. He still has a lot of units. Oh, quite a few units sitting idle back here. 12 whole pillars. It's nearly what he has with his ACU. Now they start moving forward. Getting PDs. Oh, these will secure the reclaim field for me. And we're just trying to keep our stuff under shields to protect them from overcharge. Building these T1 PDs is probably not that useful. Probably should be shooting his commander in the face instead. So now we start doing it. And our air factory has been making now. We've gone T2 air and we're making torpedo bombers. Now Robogear is about to run out of veterancy levels. He will get his last one now. That was, he just got a bit, what does he get for that? 5,000, 6,000 HP back? Well, there's no more instant vet for him. And we have some submarines here. Frigates, the tiny navy I have in the bottom ocean has arrived. More importantly, torpedo bombers are arriving. And Robogear's units are out of position here. Honestly, he needs to suicide these units in to defend himself. And the grenades are even doing damage through the water. And the torpedo bombers, there's too many of them. And his air force is kind of non-existent actually. And Robogear goes down. And that is the series 2-1. 2-1 comeback. Not bad. Well, I say not bad. The start of this game was very bad. I mean, you saw that it was what? 30 mexes to... What was it? 28 mexes to 17. Robogear finished with quite a bit more total mass. What went wrong for Robogear? I'm not sure. Well, here he didn't need to commit so far. The commit forward, he committed all the way up to here, and that didn't really work out. I defended it with PDs and I got my commander upgrades done. And then it was a constant pushback, and then he should have kept retreating or suicided all these units, or sent all these units in to allow his AC to come out of the water and head backwards, and then maybe he could, you know, make the nano upgrade or something. Also, he seemed to have no air force. I don't know if I managed to kill it at some point. I don't think so. I didn't see an air fight recently. But yeah, lack of an air force was quite bad for him as well. He did have T2 Navy. He lost all his build power on it, but and his cruiser may have died to frigates. But the top navy looked pretty won for him. Bottom navy, he was still in it. Actually, he's making T2 support factory, so yeah, I think if I don't get the kill here, it's going to be pretty nasty for me. Most likely, I would be behind for sure. Maybe not too far behind, but certainly behind, considering he's already a T2 navy. So I think this was a nice series. Pretty nice games, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for 2,000 subs as well. If anyone has any ideas for what to do for 2,000 subs, let me know, because I have no idea at the minute. Not really. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.